Hi everyone, welcome. I'm sorry we couldn't be together in our AGM that we had got planned. That's a real shame. It would have been lovely to be able to come together, but never mind, we've been able to put everything together on the website for you to view all of these different videos. And today I want to talk to you about the social media and Kisumu news. My name is Suzanne Hodnett and I work on the marketing side of things for Kisumu children. And I want to just give you an update on what's been going on from my end, okay? So the first thing I want to share with you is about Alex. Alex is a young man in Kisumu who is at the moment trying to put himself through college, and in order to do so is doing some photography, some freelance photography on the side in order to earn some more money. He is somebody that I asked Philemon if he could recommend somebody, because we were looking for somebody who would be able to focus a little bit more on picking up news. You know, we were currently sort of before we were asking Philemon, we were asking the staff to see if they could go around, just take snaps for us and, you know, just feedback what's going on. And of course, they're very busy people and they've got other things which we want them to focus on. So it was time to find somebody who could specifically focus on picking up news and taking photographs. So Philemon found Alex for us. Alex goes to the cathedral where Philemon obviously preaches, and he knew him from the congregation, and he said he was very impressed with his work as a photographer and he wanted to introduce us. So I've been chatting to Alex now over WhatsApp for probably about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that, and asked him to do a few assignments, you know, see what pictures came back, what stories, and to be honest, I've been really impressed with the results. Here are 3 pictures that Alex took. I've got quite a few actually that he's taken, which have been really, really good. But it just gives you an idea of the sort of quality of his work, which I've been really pleased with what I've seen. You know, Philemon and the staff have been fantastic at sending pictures back, but of course that's not their focus, that's not their eye, as it were, for a picture. So I just wanted somebody who could just capture a story really well in pictures, and Alex just has that eye for it, and he's done a great job with the pictures I've got so far. One thing he's not so well versed in, as it were, is understanding how to get the news stories. And he said to me it's something he wants to learn. So could I help him in learning how to do interviews, how to put people, you know, to make them comfortable to tell their story and things like that. And so I've been working with him on just giving him ideas, giving him pointers, giving him sort of, you know, things to try, you know, questions to ask, you know, how to approach people, how to make them feel at ease, how to, you know, get that sort of, that rapport going with them, and you know, how to just adapt questions depending on what they say, and all this kind of thing. And you know, he went out recently, just in the last week actually, he said, I found 4 people in the community who have recently started a business. They started it during the pandemic, and they've been really entrepreneurial and wanting to make an income and make it sustainably, and I want to go and interview them to see if I can practice. So off he went, and he's done that in the last couple of days, and I actually had a conversation with him this evening over WhatsApp, and I said, oh, how did it go? And he said, they made me feel so welcome, and he said, I enjoyed it was great. So I'm really looking forward to what stories are going to come back from Alex, and what photographs he's got. So I shall be passing them on in due course. Okay, so watch out for those. So yeah, Alex has been a great addition to the team. I'm really pleased to have him there on the ground. But what I particularly obviously want to gather some news stories for to inform all of our supporters as to what's actually happening over there. And social media is a way that I can do that. Social media is obviously used by the world, you know, for quick updates on news, for regular reports. And so we need to use it in exactly the same way, and it is a fantastic tool for that. I know not everybody's on social media, and that's fine. Everybody finds their way which they like to read the news. But for those people who are on social media, I hope you like our social media pages. I do try and post once or twice a week. If I've got enough news coming back, then I'll do that. And you can see it, you know, just happening quickly, really. It comes to you quickly rather than you have to wait for the publication, the quarterly publication, to come out. So the mission and values I want to communicate on social media is that I want it to be that if somebody new were to look us up on social media and see what we're all about, that they could feel those missions, that mission and those values coming through the page and what they're reading. And it's all about hope. Hope that they will pick up that we support sustainable projects across the Tiangri community, that we support children through sponsorships to help them with food and nutrition, clothes, basic medicines, and education, and that we care about individual situations and show supporters where they can make an instant difference. That's what I really want to come across in our social media pages in terms of what our mission is and what we care about, caring how we want to support the community. If we were all together in the AGM, then I would have said to you, do you think we achieved this? And I would have asked you directly. Obviously, I can't now because we're not together. But we will be having a meeting in November online where we'll be inviting supporters to come and just sort of chat, really just have a morning on a Saturday morning to talk together, to see, just get your feedback on how you think we're doing, what we could do better, if you've got any ideas. It just gives you that input, which unfortunately we've lost because we can't do that sort of face-to-face stuff that we would have done at the AGM. So please do come along a bit to that, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. Okay. So the direct outcome that I'm aiming for from the social media pages, and I'm particularly focusing on Facebook, that's where most people who are supporters who are on social media, they tend to gravitate to Facebook. That said, we've got supporters on Instagram and then on Twitter. Not so many, but we are getting interest across all those three platforms. But my direct outcome from social media is I want to engage people and attract new people with individual stories and inspire them to want to know more. They may not take action directly on social media, but it's a way for them to just get to know us really and see what we're about. And the way I measure how we're doing with that is what we call likes and follows, where people will go, actually, I'm quite interested in what you're about. I'll just follow you for a bit and pick up the news that you post on social media. So that tells me what sort of level of interest we're getting, and we're getting likes and follows. It's slow, it's not a quick thing to be able to build those, but it's happening across all the platforms. I also want to acquire subscribers to our mailing list. Now, I've set up a new program, a new email mailing list called Make a Difference, which I'm just starting out with. What that's about, I shall explain to you in a moment, but it's only going to be an email-based program, and by collecting subscribers through social media, it just shows me how much impact we're having on social media, that people want to sign up. So it's another good way of just sort of getting feedback, getting interest, just sort of connecting with people really in a very specific kind of program. And of course, the way I measure how well that's doing is how many subscribers do we get from social media on that. Okay. The other direct outcome that I use social media for is for ad hoc fundraising. So this could be things like Christmas cards or a particular fundraising event or something like that. Obviously, I promote that on social media as well. The indirect outcome, of course, of social media is that it will help us to acquire sponsors. It will help us to acquire gifts for individual situations and gifts for general funds. Again, it's not that they'll necessarily take action on social media, but what people will often do is that if they find us through any other channel and they're interested in supporting us, they'll often go and look us up on social media just to see if we're sort of a bona fide organisation, what we stand for, whether they like what they read. Can they see sort of regular posts? How long do those posts go back for? How long have we been around? It just gives that credibility to us as an organisation. And so that's the indirect outcome that social media helps to support along with our website. So when I find something that is doing really well, we're now starting to engage in advertising. So it just gives me a broader reach. So if people say that they really like something, they really like a particular picture, they really like a particular message, and it's getting lots of traction and engagement, I will send it out to a much wider audience by doing paid advertising, and that's another way to engage people in larger numbers, which is something which I think will have an effect. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the Make a Difference campaign. So what this is it's the idea is to connect those who want to give to individual situations where a small gift would make an instant difference to a life. I want to connect people in the UK, America, wherever we've got supporters who really want to help an individual. So there's lots of things that we fundraise for where we're helping lots of individuals, but sometimes people just find that engagement through connecting with somebody. They're not going to be connecting necessarily directly, but they'll just connect with the story, as it were, of what's actually happening in Kisumu for an individual, and they can say, I want to support you, I want to give to you personally, and then we can make that connection happen, by getting the funds to where it really needs to go, and then obviously send back information about what's happened, what's the outcome of that money going to the right places. So effectively, it's a mailing list where people will sign up to, where they want to hear these stories. We'll publish stories about what I find in the community where there is a specific need for somebody, and this is where Alex is brilliant, because he can obviously he can hear things which I'm not going to hear. He's got his ear to the ground, as it were, and he will sort of let me know if there are anything in particular which we can support. When it goes out, to our email subscribers, people will read it, and some people will just connect with something in particular. It might resonate with them, something they've been through. Maybe a child who is sick, or maybe a child who just wouldn't be able to go to school without school books and a uniform, or something like that. Obviously, we do have a lot of that, but there may be one particular child or one particular situation which really resonates with somebody, and they want to pay some money towards to help that person. The Kisumu staff will make that purchase and send the item to the right individual. We'll hear back, and I can report it then in the email, so people get to hear what a difference they've made, and that's what it's all about. And it will be aimed at trying to help families who particularly have a need. And the reason is because we are Kisumu children. We want to support children. That is in the objectives of the charity. And so in supporting families, of course, we are supporting the children who would be affected otherwise. To move on to other things, I just want to quickly tell you about as well. The Christmas campaign this year, you're going to be looking out for that. I'm sure you're used to that coming out, for those who've been with us for a while. This just let you know what it's going to be roughly. There's going to be a little booklet. It will be more than just this, but these are the things which you can give to yourself if you're interested in doing so this Christmas. These are things where we need specifics for probably groups of people rather than individuals that I can tell you about. There are a lot of children who need school uniforms. There are a lot of families who are looking to be able to farm chickens, ducks, have a goat for milk, that kind of thing. But we know where they are, and so collectively we want to fundraise for those items, for those people. This is something that I specifically asked Philemon about, to say, what is it that you think that people really need at the moment? A lot of it is about food and food sustainability, but of course always getting children into school and helping people with small businesses where they're then making a sustainable income to support their families with food, education, and so on. So there are specifics that we're asking for this year for anybody who wants to give. Please do look out for the Christmas campaign and the gifts that you can give. And that will be coming with the Kisumu News in November. Kisumu News, I hope you enjoy that. That's still planned, to continue. We have no need to change that really at all. I think a lot of you really enjoy it. It's certainly a good way for us to update you on every quarter, and we have a glut of information by that time of things that have been going on. So that's going to be coming out in November, the next one. And of course, you can give through anything you hear about in there that you particularly feel connected to, that you want to give to, then we're most grateful for anything that you are able to give to us and to support us with, so we can get that news out to you. And there's obviously some lovely stories in there as to what your giving has actually really done, you know, what a difference it's made. And it is really exciting at the moment, where we can see some real sort of sustainable projects happening, and your money is going to something which is then like the community garden, for example, and the one in the middle, which is then just going to keep going, and keep making food. And that one in particular has been so successful, and then they've been growing so many crops, you know, not just to cook themselves to feed the children that are coming into the home, but also to then actually have surplus that they can give out to the children to take home to their families. So your money is really making a big difference, and I love being able to put together the Kisumu News Quarterly to tell you all about it. So thank you so much for everything you give, and I'll keep updating you with that publication. Christmas cards, I will send those out in, sorry, I beg your pardon, I sent those out in the August edition, the designs. These are the designs there for you to look at again. Hopefully you've seen those in the August edition of the newsletter, for those of you who've received that. For anybody who hasn't received that and is new to Kisumu Children, please do sign up for it, for that the Kisumu News newsletter. You'll get things like this and hear about Christmas cards and extras which you can enjoy. So I hope you like the designs this year. I think they're selling well, and they're still available as far as I'm aware. We still have some left, so that you can buy those via the website, or directly by giving us a call. And that's it from me. I hope that's been useful, but please do contact me if you want to know anything at all, and I can share extra information with you on how you can get involved and how you can hear more from us. Okay, thank you.